throw it out there. How does dance come into your life?
Oh gosh, okay. So that started about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When I came to this country, not this country, when I came to UK.
The UK.
When I first moved to UK, I was about 19.
Where from?
From Poland. So I'm originally from Poland.
Okay, yeah.
So I've always wanted to dance, but where I come from is a very small town. There wasn't really much opportunity. It was very much, ballroom, very specific type of girls that were, chosen to do it. And I felt, well, I can't really, do that. So I moved to UK when I was 19, and I thought, let me just see whether there is an option for me to just socially dance. And I found salsa. Weirdly, I thought that salsa wasn't a partner dance, because I read somewhere on the website that, we just do, solo dancing. I thought, that's for me. And then I went to a first class and suddenly we go into partners. I was like, what is going on? That was a bit of a shock, but I thought, let's just go with it. I've always wanted to dance. So I started with salsa. A few years later, I discovered bachata. Many people will know the Te Extraño dance, taka alemana. That got me into bachata. And then a few years into bachata, and then I discovered Dominican. And that's how.
And now you come home.
And now I've come home.
All right.
And that finally feels like home. Dominican bachata. It's I always love that. That's the rhythm that my heart beats.
And just so we can get the list right of how many styles that you know. So there's salsa and bachata, and then there's sensual bachata. There's moderna. There is, what else have you got?
So I dance Argentinian tango as well.
Tango.
And a bit of kizomba.
Kizomba.
Yeah. I did a little bit of Bollywood just to sort of get myself into a funky mode. A little bit Afrobeats here and there. All the different styles of salsa. So you've got the Cuban, you've got the LA, a little bit of Cali salsa as well. So different styles.
So you're quite into dance in a big way.
Definitely, it's the best. I feel like the best way to relax and to unwind after a long day at work or after anything. To be honest, the best thing is a shot of tequila and dancing.
Yeah. Well, I must say. You seem to enjoy yourself in the dance floor. You drink the men under the table, you dance the women under the table.
You've got to do
You party pretty hard, too. Like, you're not a shrinking violet, let me just say that for the record. So it's been wonderful to have that energy, because you're very much alive. As people are aware that Queen D is in the house, it's, you're not up the back.
It's funny because it's not always been that way. I think it took me quite a few years to get to a point where I can genuinely dance like no one's watching, and I can forget everyone apart from the partner that I'm dancing with and the music that I hear. You literally can. I finally got to the point that I can just let go and enjoy myself. It's the only time that I purely just
shame
freedom.
Free, just
exactly.
Yeah. That's way cool. That's really cool. What's a highlight from the camp? We'll say some of the highlights.
I would say like the people.
The camp environment, living together.
Being together, and I'm sort of person like I am very sociable, but I need a little bit of my own time. So I had a few moments here and there where I was like, okay, I need some time for my own. Yeah. But generally, when you're going out, when you're dancing, when you're having fun, when you can just have a joke with people, just a bit of a cheeky moment here and there. It's really what sort of made this special.
Yeah. And how did you feel about, that's the best camera to be looking at, it doesn't really matter too much, but that's, how did you feel about the big juicy rat that was running around?
Don't.
Because there was the rat and there was also the big tarantula.
I am trying not to think about it. I'm hoping we're not eating that rat today.
No. You just never know, but it was part of our experience.
It was.
You're not the kind of lass that would want to take the spider out, unlike Logan, that's like hungry for tarantulas, wants to play with them and have them run all over
like
the body.
Logan, who was literally just jumped in right there. I will say,
big hairy spider, that's me.
I get that.
It's my time to shine.
That is not me. That is not. So I'm glad that I didn't actually see it live. ahead of it. And I was like, and that's all I need to know.
The rat and the tarantula. Yeah. That's
Yeah, we've had
interesting.
some pets here. For
Now,
sure.
you are leading in dance, which is unusual for a, normally it's a masculine role and certainly can have either way, but I'm just interested to pull that out. And as part of understanding who you are you comfortable to give yourself a name, or how would you define yourself in terms of sexuality or your persona, or like, is that part of it? Because it's sort of, you're a lead, you're a strong part of the dance side.
Well, the thing is, in terms of leading, I like to, it is very, very gendered. So you very much have the leaders are usually the guys, the followers are usually the ladies. So it's very sort of traditional, very gendered. And a few years ago, I joined a queer salsa group where it didn't really matter how you identified in terms of your gender or sexuality. You danced what you wanted to dance, whether you wanted to follow or lead or switch. So that kind of introduced me to the idea of, you know, potentially leading. And also at the time where I was dancing, I was doing a little bit of assist work, and one of the teachers was a female as well. She was a female teacher. So it got me sort of to the idea that, you know, you can lead. Because the main thing that you'll notice, or maybe you will notice, that a lot of women will notice, that you go to a place and you end up waiting quite a bit, because there's usually more women wanting to follow than the guys wanting to lead. So you end up sort of dancing one dance and waiting two of them. And I got to the point where I don't want to be waiting for a dance. I want to be able to dance at any point where I want. So if I learn to lead, then I have more options. So I can then, you know, lead when I can see a lot of ladies waiting for a dance. I can jump in, have a bit of a dance that way, then follow if I want to as well.
You certainly, I mean, we've had a good couple of dances, and you are a great follower. So you're very comfortable in that world, but
Yeah.
I've seen you lead, and you're very strong in leading as well. Certainly very helpful for here, because there's more women than men.
There you go.
So it's like great that you're able to step into that role.
That was actually my plan all along when I first found this holiday. I remember emailing Maria, letting her know that I do want to join the holiday, but I purely want to join the classes as a leader. And the thing is, sometimes it's still, where I dance in London, sometimes you still have to sort of announce it to the teacher. Are they okay with the woman leading? Because there are still moments
some
where
uncomfortable.
some of them sadly are still uncomfortable.
Come on, 2022.
Listen, I've been in situations where I paid for the class and I said I want to lead, and suddenly there's not enough women. And he was like, why do you know, can you just step in? And I was like, no, I don't want to step in to do a follower, because I paid for the class to do it as a leader.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a tussle, and sometimes it's not everywhere, but there are places and there are teachers who don't feel very comfortable with it, and that makes it uncomfortable for women to do it. So I wanted to make sure that this holiday, when I book it, I pay for the holiday, I made sure that they're okay. And Maria was very like, oh, great that you want to lead, because we know, in terms of, you know, the balance of the followers,
we actually need more leaders
so
as well.
I was very encouraged. There was never any sort of discomfort around it, even from the ladies that I was dancing with. You know, it was very welcoming, and that gave me that boost and that sort of confidence to actually do it. And that's something that I can take back home, you know.
You are like one of the strong characters in this camp. Like, I'm so glad that you're on the camp. Really, you've got a great energy, you're very strong, and you've got a great sense of humour, fun and dancers. So it's been wonderful to have you on the camp. Just one more follow-up question is, in your life, if you look back, what's something that's formative or has changed you, maybe ideally in a positive way, it can be negative, but if you were to say, what's a big event, what's something that's really kind of, since I discovered dance, or separated from my partner, or, you know, some big thing that you've learned something, or you created something?
Yeah.
Like what's a...
I would say there are sort of two main things in terms of my life in general and also my dancing life. There are two main sort of events. There was one point where I was romantically with a partner who didn't dance, and that really, it's not like it's not that they sort of said, oh, you can't go out dancing. It's just more sort of if I wanted to spend time with them, then I didn't go dancing. So it sort of limited me in terms of, you know, going out and socially dancing with other people. And I make it a point now I'm in a relationship with someone who doesn't really dance what I dance, but is very happy for me to go enjoy myself. You know, she doesn't make any problems with me dancing sort of sensually with someone, because she understands also that it's just a dance. Because that's at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just a dance.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was one of it, sort of to make sure that this is such an important part of my life that I need to make it one of the priorities when I'm with someone, that they also understand. They don't have to dance it. They don't have to do it like me. But at least that they understand that this is a huge part of what I love, what I do, how I relax, how I spend my free time, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
And the second part was I joined a performance group, and that really pushed my me out of comfort zone.
Ah.
So that was the bit where it really took the dancing to another level. Practiced a lot. We had a really lovely routine. We performed it. It was a nice way to kind of sort of push myself to do a little bit more. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone if you have a chance to join a performance group, a student performance or semi-pro performance group. Just do it. It's fun. You know, you end up performing in front of people. It's a good experience. Yeah. So those are sort of the two things that I sort of would say that really kind of formed how I take dance into part of my life as it is, and you know, way to enjoy myself, to keep it part of who I am as well.
Yeah. Well, dancing definitely seems very much part of who you are, along with drinking and partying. Like you're really pretty hardcore, and no, it's really been great having you on the team, and I really appreciate you coming on camera to share who is Queen D, and yeah, you are fabulous. Thank you so much for having a wee little interview, and I look forward to having a dance with you down by the pool.
Definitely.
All right.
Go party. Cheers. I want to say, Chris, to you, but like to the camera, thank you so much for actually taking the time to do the whole thing. You have no idea how long I've been dancing for so many years, and I've got so few videos and moments, and you always capture the moments that are happening, and it's going to be the best memory ever to have that video, and when you put it together, I can't wait. So thank you so much for actually doing it.
We are dancing on the beach on camera, yes. So you've got that like Dominican Republic, palm trees, beach, like
paradise. This is literally paradise.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Living our best life, dancing.
But thank you so much for actually, you know, always being there, whipping up that camera when something is happening, and getting there. And we've got Karen here.
And here's Karen.
Yes. Always looking glamorous.
She is looking glamorous. Yes. And this is part of like camp life, where we are literally living together.
Living together, partying together.
Partying together, and it's wonderful.